What's up, guys? It is Corey from SuperKamiGuru9000, and welcome to my review of Naruto Shippuden, episode 294. Another great entry in the Chikara mini-arc. This was just another really great action fest, which also explained a few more things that are actually going on with the story, referring to this actual power stuff, which is still pretty damn vague. And there's actually a lot of really cool things here. We get even a little bit more, not so much explanation, but we actually get to see how those like snake clones that Kabuto makes actually work. The episode opens up with our big villain, Dishonest, basically beating the crap out of Naruto while he's tied up, and he goes on to explain that they need these sounds. Those are basically those metal rods that the kids are bringing to him, and they need 7 of them, kind of like 7 Dragon Balls in order to make their wish. And basically, he connects them to this weird little machine, and it makes these noises and stuff. It's really confusing and kind of weird, but I'm just willing to let it go. Apparently, this Dishonest guy actually went toe-to-toe with Pain at one point, and he lost the battle, and this is apparently how he lost his power, and he's been doing all of this in order to get his power back. This all leads to a huge confrontation where this giant pillar is literally exploding out of the ground and shooting energy into the sky. There's this really epic battle of the Edo Tenseis fighting against Kakashi and all the other Konoha ninja, as well as Naruto fighting against his Kyuubi clone. One thing that I thought was a nice touch is that a lot of the Edo Tensei characters had Deidara's bombs planted all over their bodies, which is a really sick technique when you think about it. While the action and everything here is really cool and all over the place, the Konoha characters really don't get to do too much, as most of the time they're just looking out for Deidara and his bombs. And they even survived this one attack, and I'm not gonna, think why they survived it, because they're the main characters and blah 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 blah. One of the highlights of this episode for me, however, was getting to see Naruto fight in his Sage mode, and that's actually how he escaped from the snakes, because they consume chakra, so he figured, well, if I go into Sage mode, I'll be able to do that, they won't be able to consume that. I love when Naruto was in his Sage mode and he was using his frog kata to fight against the Kyuubi clone, and he was just knocking the crap out of him. One thing that's really interesting when he's fighting this clone, it's starting to break down and some of those snakes are starting to fall off along with the chakra, and underneath it all is sort of this weird, like, snake clone of Naruto. And that also goes for Hidan as well, because he's also the special case with this sort of snake Edo Tensei, and you can actually see when he's summoned in this episode, he has these scales all over his face, and so does this weird sort of clone of Naruto, and it does have one single tail, so it's literally like a Snake Man hybrid of Naruto. So Shikamaru gets his rematch with Hidan, which really ends the same way. Hidan actually in this episode was really cool. He was just about to activate his curse mark, and he was running towards one that he made earlier that is really, really freaking huge. But Shikamaru caught up with him, and Deidara got summoned back by Kabuto, so he wasn't able to save him, and Hidan was obviously pretty pissed about that. The end of the episode gives us a hook in order to continue to get us to watch next week. We can see at the end of the episode that giant pillar is raising out of the sky, shooting its beam into the air, and Naruto's Kyuubi clone actually fell down there. At the end of the episode, it looks like it's going through some sort of freaky transformation. At the very end of the episode, you get to see there's this sort of Hydra Kyuubi thing. It's kind of hard to explain. It kind of looks like a black Kyuubi, and all of its tails has a face at the end of it. It's really creepy looking, and I really like it, and it looks like it's going to fight against Naruto, and it doesn't look like this Dishonest guy is going to be able to get his power back. So this episode moved at a lightning pace. There were a lot of things I didn't cover, but you guys just need to see that for yourselves. One thing that's interesting about this Dishonest guy is apparently he was in cahoots with Orochimaru at some point, and he had something to do with the Edo Tensei technique and everything, and this is probably why Kabuto is working with him as well. So I'm going to give this episode a 9 out of 10. I don't want to give it a 10 because there were some things in the episode that confused me, in particular about the whole power thing and that weird futuristic device that Dishonest was using. So it was just kind of weird, but still, 9 out of 10, it was still a really great episode. If you guys are following this arc, you kind of have to see it because it's got some really crucial stuff in it. And if you're just jumping in, I recommend starting from the beginning of the Chikara arc because this is definitely turning out to be the best filler in the entire series. Alright guys, so how did you feel about this week's episode? You can let me know in your comments below. And remember guys, as always, if you like this video, make sure and give it a thumbs up. It really helps these reviews out a lot. That concludes this review today. SuperKamiGuru9000, out. And have a great holiday guys. See you next time.